What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to be going over a market update as well as a trading update for me. What stocks am I currently in, as well as what other stocks I'm watching for the rest of this week. So for those of you guys that are new to my channel, my name is Stas, and I make videos dealing with swing trading, day trading, long-term investing, and my personal philosophies and strategies when it comes down to investing and trading in the stock market. So for those of you guys that want to learn more about that, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe, and join our Discord group chat as well as our Facebook group, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you guys want to, and especially get into that Discord group chat, guys, because if you want to keep in touch with me as well as our community throughout the day, that's the best place to do so. We're talking about trading, stocks, investing, stock news, networking with each other, bouncing ideas off of each other, and that's the best way to, DM me personally throughout the day and just ask me questions as well. So make sure you get into all of those. The links are down below in the description box. Now let's talk about what happened today in the market. So before we talk about PayPal really quickly, I want to talk about the Dow Jones. So we saw today, the Dow Jones is down about 0.5%, down about $126 at the close of the market. And we closed a little bit, a little bit above the support level at about 25,275. So let's say Dow Jones is able to hold above here tomorrow and start to push back up in price. That would be a very good situation for the Dow Jones. But the reason and the fact that we closed above that support level, which has been a support level over the past couple of trading days, is a very good sign for the Dow Jones. So to look over here to the S&P 500, down about 11 points today, down about 0.4%. And same thing as the Dow Jones, guys. This one closed a little bit around a previous support level, which was at about 25 or 2750-ish from about a couple of trading days ago. So we noticed that it closed right around there. Next support level being at about 2765. We can draw that out right here. So, if the S&P is able to hold above here tomorrow and slowly start to push back up in price, this would be a good indication that the S&P and the Dow Jones, if both of these are able to do that, this would be a great indication that we're slowly starting to recover in the markets and a new higher low has been formed, or a new low has been formed, which was higher than the previous one at about 2710. And that's a very good sign that the Dow Jones and the S&P are slowly rebounding. And now if we look over here to the NASDAQ, this is actually the NASDAQ future. This one's actually up about 51 points right now, up about 0.7%. So unlike the Dow Jones and unlike the S&P, this one was able to close green today, and this one's actually showing the best signs of a comeback in terms of the three major indexes. And if I just clear this one very quickly, we can see that right here based off of the trend line that I just drew. This one's pushing up in price, making higher highs, making higher lows. This one's actually recovering very, very nicely in terms of the big three indexes that we talk about on this channel. So now that we talked about the major indexes, let's talk about what trades I personally took today. And I'm going to talk about a topic/question that I get all the time in the Discord group chat as well as in the DMs, which is pretty much, should I hold a stock or an ETF over the weekend when I'm trading stocks, swing trading for the most part, right? So I'm going to answer that question more towards the end of this video, so make sure to stick around. But now to just quickly talk about what trades I made today. So for those of you guys that have not watched my previous videos, I'm in PayPal right now, ticker symbol PYPL. I got in initially on Friday, and this is a stock that reported earnings, very strong earnings were reported, and they ended up shooting up about 10% in price. So I want to talk about the trade that I made in PayPal today. So I ended up adding a little bit more money into PayPal after my initial entry on Friday at about $83.50-ish. I got in right here at about noon to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And today we opened up very nicely in terms of PayPal. It continued this upward staircase pattern of making higher highs, making higher lows, and everything was looking marvelous today in terms of Facebook. And if we're just looking at this 2-day chart here. So very good signs that, or I said Facebook, guys, oh my God. Very good sign that PayPal is moving up and continuing this uptrending pattern. So today I noticed that it shot up pre-market hours to about 85.67. I noticed the big pullback in price back down to about $83.85. And as it slowly started to push up, and once it broke below the 180 SMA, I ended up taking another smaller size position in PayPal at around $84.80, which is now bringing up my cost basis to around like $83.95, something like that. I got to recheck my brokerage, but I ended up adding more money there, pretty much due to the confirmation bounce on this trend line that I just pretty much drew out for you guys, right? This means that this stock is continuing the pattern, right? And it was just doing that for the rest of the day, pushing up, making higher highs, continuing the uptrending pattern. So very good signs that PayPal is continuing to go up. Now, in terms of when I plan on adding more money into this one, I'm personally going to wait and see if we end up seeing a sell-off over the next couple of days. Let's say we see a couple of more green days in terms of PayPal now, for example. Let's say we get up to about $87, $88. I would want to see a pullback then, maybe back to about $85, maybe $84.50 before adding more money into PayPal again. But overall, guys, this stock is in full-on reversal pattern, reversal mode right now, which is why it's making, a very attractive swing trade for me. So that's what I did in terms of PayPal. I actually ended up taking a UGAS trade today, and I'm actually red on that position as of now. I'm still holding on to a couple of shares of that. I ended up not cutting my losses quite yet, but what I did in terms of UGAS is I got in at this consolidation point at about $82. Then we slowly started to see the spike up. Actually, no, I got in after this consolidation point, and once it slowly started to peak up in price, I ended up taking a position right there in UGAS. And, natural gas today, guys, has been very, very bearish, right? It was selling off pretty much all day, so I figured this is when I got into UGAS, actually, right here exactly. So once we started to see here, some sell-off, some bearish mood in terms of natural gas, we already sold off the 315, right? And my ideology behind this trade is that we were holding above that support level at 315. Then the sudden spike up gave me the notion that, okay, you guys might be a good play right now. This might be a reversal point for natural gas. So I took a small position there as you guys popped up above about like $82.50. Took a position there, guys, shot it up all the way up here to 317. And then we actually saw that natural gas continued this bearish pattern heading into, the latter half of the trading day today. And now I'm actually red on my UGAS position, and I'm looking to possibly hedge against this UGAS position with picking up some shares of DGAS, because I actually read a report that a lot of analysts right now are bearish on natural gas in the short term. So in the short term, guys, we might see some downside for natural gas, which means that DGAS might shoot up. But I'm thinking about just picking up some shares of DGAS and hedging against my my UGAS position. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that, because I do want to hold the shares at about $82 as of now as an initial position until I do see whether or not natural gas is going to continue pushing down in price, because right now, guys, I think it's a little bit oversold in my personal opinion. And if we look here on the 180, it is a little bit oversold on the RSI charts. So, I'm going to hold the position, see what happens, and if the worst comes to worst, I'll hedge against UGAS tomorrow with DGAS, and that's my plan and ideology, behind this trade, because inventories, some analysts are saying that natural gas is going to be bearish for the next couple of days, and hey, that might shoot the price down. So that's what I did in terms of UGAS and PayPal, and that's pretty much all I ended up trading today, guys. I got into a small day trade with TVIX, nothing too crazy, but for the most part, in terms of swings, guys, only focusing on the DGAS UGAS combo right now, and PayPal, right? That's what I pretty much am focusing on. And I got into a nice swing, not a swing trade, a quick little day trade on TVIX today during the early hours of the market, from the massive sell-off that we saw initially in the market. So I drew out some support levels. Let me just redraw them out for you guys right now. And this is what I was looking at pre-market hours and heading into the beginning of the market. So we notice how the Dow Jones opened up green, right? It opened up green, popped up here, meaning that it could potentially be continuing this uptrending pattern from where it closed on Friday, right? But then when we notice the drop, the huge sell-off, the break below the 50, the break below the 180 simple moving averages, and then we notice it tried to reverse back up, then it got rejected there again and continued to drop in price. That gave me the understanding that, Dow Jones right now is falling, the markets are falling, and especially as it broke below the support level that I drew out for you guys right here, right? That is when I got into TVIX as a quick little day trade. I made about like 4 or 5% on that trade. Nothing too crazy, as the markets were selling off. I got in pretty much as it was riding the EMA line, and that was a very nice little scalp trade for me. I believe it was between like $42.75 up to about $44.50. Ended up taking my profits there. Very quick, easy scalp trade as the market saw the big sell-off early on in the day. So now to talk about quickly what should you do in terms of holding a stock or an ETF over the weekend. And I personally think, guys, that it depends. If you're trading, let's say, leveraged ETFs, which is what UGAS and DGAS are, right? I would be very cautious with holding those over the weekend, because if you don't understand what a leveraged ETF, guys, you see this 3X right here? That means that UGAS and DGAS, they move 3 times as quick as the underlying asset that it trades based upon, as they trade based upon. In this case, that is /NG. So if natural gas is very volatile one day, that's going to be swinging DGAS and UGAS up 8%, down 8% for the other, up 12%. I've seen it up 15% in one specific day, right? And that's why a lot of people suggest not to hold these leveraged ETFs over the weekends due to the massive volatility that they have. Let's say, for example, perfect example here. Remember last week, guys, I made a trading update video on either Thursday or Friday that I traded UGAS. It was a day trade, I believe, or a 2-day swing trade, and I ended up taking my profits on Friday, this past Friday. Right, I'll show you the trade, right? I forget exactly what it was because it was last week, but it was from this rebound play, I believe. I think it was, yeah, we sold off from 95 all the way down to about $82. Yes, it was a day trade on Friday. That's what it was, right? We got in at about $83-ish, $85, right? And then we rode it up to about $89, and that's where I ended up taking my profits and deciding not to hold over the weekend, right? Because like I said, guys, these are very volatile, and look what happened the next day, which is today. We noticed that it's down 8%. So if I held over the weekend here, because at this point, guys, I could have held over the weekend because we were showing signs of a reversal pattern, and the next resistance point is $95, but I figured in this case it was better to just take profits, right, because this is a very volatile leveraged ETF, and then get in at a better price point. So now that we saw the big sell-off here, I got back in at that same support level at $82. Now we saw the sell-off, the break of that support, and I ended up still holding on, like I told you guys about 5-10 minutes ago. So, in terms of leveraged ETFs, I would not advise really to hold those over the weekend, and unless there's a very special case or something out of the ordinary is happening with those leveraged ETFs. So in other examples of leveraged ETFs, guys, JNUG, this is a 3X leveraged ETF as well. And this inverse is JDST, meaning that they move 3 times as quick as the underlying asset, which in this case is /GC. So trading these guys is very tricky at times, right? Because they do move very quick. They are very volatile. And that's why I don't really suggest, and I personally don't, right, hold these over the weekend. So if we're talking about large cap stocks like Facebook, let's say we're trading AMD, right? Unless there's an earnings report right around the corner, I wouldn't mind not, I wouldn't mind holding these over the weekend, right? Large cap stocks or stocks that have established businesses like AMD, right? If I'm trading these, I wouldn't really mind holding them over the weekend unless, again, there's an earnings report coming out. Let's say there's an earnings report on Monday. I wouldn't really hold that stock through the weekend into the earnings report because I personally don't like taking that risk unless the earnings outlook is looking very good. The company's very strong. I personally wouldn't do that. But, for the most part, guys, leveraged ETFs, I wouldn't hold those over the weekend. But if we're talking about stocks like AMD, big name stocks, Facebook, Google, Netflix, Apple, Boeing, Tesla, Square, all of these different ones that we talk about on this channel, I wouldn't mind holding those over the weekend unless there's an earnings report on Monday or the next week. Therefore, it'll be kind of tricky depending on what the outlook for that particular business company is. So that's the answer to that question, guys. I hope you guys found that valuable. If not, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think and what else I can help you with. So in terms of other stocks, guys, today we saw AMD had a very strong day, up about 5.79%, but their earnings report is right around the corner. So, I wouldn't personally trade this one until that earnings report is said and done, right? We got to see what's going on with the company, the guidance, the outlook for the next quarter, the next year. I'm very interested to see that and the numbers, the financials before we do, before I personally trade AMD. But we saw it was a very nice play today, sold off, bounced on the 180 SMA, had a very strong squeeze up to about $25.70-ish cents. Sell off, it held above here, made another higher low, and pushed back up. So, AMD is looking good right now, but again, earnings reports coming out soon, and I would be very, very skeptical with that. So Netflix, guys, it held above the support at about $320. So we could possibly get a bounce back play on Netflix, especially since it's oversold here in the RSI. So I'm going to set an alert on Netflix. Let's say if it breaks below about 325 tomorrow, I'm going to keep an eye on it for a potential bounce back play. Is at or below 325. So we can set that there. Let's see how that ends up playing out. Today we got some news on Facebook potentially buying a cybersecurity company to work for them. So this is going to be very interesting to see how Facebook ends up playing out tomorrow and the next coming days. They also have earnings coming up on 10/30, so 8 days from now. So these are just a couple of stocks to keep an eye on, especially with earnings coming out, guys. I can't stress this enough. With earnings coming out, this is going to be a huge opportunity to see where our economy is going to be going over the next quarter, over the next year, especially to see we just got to see what these companies report, because that's what's going to give us, the notion of how strong our economy is. Let's say these companies report very strong earnings, very strong outlook, guidance, very strong, future growth. This is going to be very good for our, stock market as a whole and our economy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Drop some stocks down below that you guys want me to, recap in these videos. We can talk about stocks all day if you want. Just shoot me a DM on Instagram. Shoot me a, message on Discord. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Join the Discord group. Join the Facebook group. Make sure to do your own research when it comes down to investing and trading in the stock market, guys. Do not do any of this based off of my opinion, because that's not how you're going to become a successful trader and an investor over time. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Let's make some money today. Peace.